cracking, y'all? You are now watching Boo TV. Appreciate you for stopping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and let's get into the topic for today. What's cracking? Back with another one from the Larry Bird Vault. Appreciate you for stopping in. Check out our Larry Bird playlist. Found a rare interview from 1991, apparently SportsCenter, and where they're interviewing Larry Bird. And y'all know me, I love watching these interviews, especially really players of the past, their interviews. I like hearing what they have to say more. I think they're more enlightening when it comes to the game of basketball, and they pack much more wisdom when it comes to the game of basketball. So I love hearing how they interact with the questions and shed thought and experience on anybody listening. So I've loved every one of Larry's interviews that I've watched so far. Like right now, my top 3 players for interviews, definitely in no particular order: Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, and Kobe Bryant. And they're all very different, but they're all very enlightening and informational, and really just shed dimes, just dropping dimes of knowledge on you in basketball and in life. Those 3 guys, I love watching their interviews. So let's get into this Larry Bird one.
His back hurts, his cheek is swollen, and he probably feels every one of his 35 years. But as of this morning, Larry Bird has lifted the Celtics into the second round and a Tuesday game at the Garden with the 2-time champion Pistons. There is a general feeling in basketball this could be Bird's last hurrah, a last best chance for another championship ring. Already that legend is pretty fair.
Do you like it sometimes when people will see an interview like this and say, he's a good guy?
I don't really care. People are quick to judge other people. I think the first impression that someone gets will always be the impression they have of someone. I really don't worry about what people say.
But you want to be liked, don't you?
I'm sure I'm liked. I'm liked by my mom. That's all that matters.
Well, George, you raised a good boy.
But I can't keep everybody happy. When I grew up, there was some people in our hometowns where there was them snotty-nosed Bird kids again, because we was always into mischief. We was always doing something. And if you always listen to other people, a lot of people have problems. A lot of people, if you just go around, even in your job, there's somebody talking about you behind your back, and everywhere you go, you have that. And you just got to learn to live with it, and I've dealt with it pretty good.
So your mom, how important was she for you? I mean, she has to be a pretty strong woman, I would imagine.
Yeah, she worked a lot of hours. She always worked in restaurants, always cook and waitress, and always worked double shifts, worked 12, 15 hours a day. And we used to take her check and buy all the food, and my father's check to pay, most of the bills. And we just barely got by. But I think it's a way that everybody should grow up.
How do you pay her back, though,
money? You never pay them back, now you just get her a nice home and pay all of her bills, and she hasn't worked now for 12 years, and I don't know if she might have been happier working all the time.
How has your family upbringing helped you? I mean, does it make you that you didn't have money? Does it make you always want to have money in the bank?
Oh, yeah. I always felt that I was going to do something in life where I could be secure. And now I feel secure. I don't think money's the greatest thing in the world, but I think security is. That
gives it to you, though, doesn't it? In some regards?
In some regards, but I think money's way overrated. I think it's a root of all evil sometimes. And
that it is.
It's always nice to have things, nice things.
You have so much money that you're afraid to give it to people sometimes?
Oh, there's no question. I used to give some money to friends, and I found out that not only do you lose your money, you lose your friendship. So I quit doing that. Yeah. I used to help Eddie out a lot, but I felt at that time that he wasn't doing the things he's supposed to do, so I had to cut him off. Right. And spank him and on down the road.
How difficult is it for Eddie to be in your shadow?
I know it's been very tough on Eddie, but I didn't really understand that back when I was a little bit younger, you know, when he first started coming up. But matter of fact, I'm sure he had some days where he wished he wasn't a basketball player. But it's also opened a lot of doors for him. He's able to get a college education, and you know, well, the main thing, he's a great kid. You know, he turned out to be a really good kid, and that's the most important thing. But I'm glad it was me being the player, and I'm glad I'm not the younger brother trying to come up, because it is tough. It's tough on everybody in my family.
Did you ever have a nightmare that you lost your shot?
Every dream that I ever had about basketball, I can never make a basket. I never make the basket. I always shoot it, but I never make it. And I don't know why, but you know, I have a lot of dreams about playing basketball, of course, because this is all I do. But I can never make a basket in my dream. We always win the games, but somebody else always makes the shots.
Do you think you're a bad businessman, that a good businessman would take it easy on the court? You know, you could prolong your career, but you play so competitively that, have you ever said, maybe I should ease up to prolong my career?
Well, I remember when I first came to the league and we played against Artis Gilmore, he told me that I wouldn't last very long if I keep diving around. Well, it has caught up with me, and you know, I do dive a lot, and I do spend a lot of time on the floor, and that's probably why I do have a lot of injuries, but that's the way I play, and I'm not going to stop playing like that.
What makes you want to be cocky and say something to somebody?
I was taught at an early age to try to get all the advantage you can. I don't know if it helps or not, but it makes me feel better. It gives me confidence, and I really don't talk as much as I used to because I can't back it up like I used to. But it gets me fired up. I don't know if it does anything to the opponent, but it does. It fires me up. I can remember in '86 after we won it that when I got taken out of the game, my heart was pounding so fast that I thought I was going to explode. It felt like it was coming out of my chest. And I don't think you get that feeling ever unless, you know, it's something that you're caught up in. And I happen to be caught up in professional basketball, and we won the ultimate game, the championship game. And I don't know, it just gives you a feeling of euphoria that you can do anything. But it just lasts for a minute or so, and then it's look forward to next year.
When you look at Michael and Magic, they're on the cover of GQ. They got clothing magazines with them on it. We'll never see you on GQ, but do you sometimes downplay this French lick hick, you know, that people look at you and say, well, he's just not sophisticated?
Well, people can identify with me more than they can somebody like a Magic or a Michael. You know, when people look at Magic and Michael, they see him do a lot of national commercials, and, you know, I had my run of that too, and they always see him in, you know, real fancy clothes, and I don't think a lot of people can identify with that. Young kids say, hey, man, I like to be like that. You know, I like to have the fancy cars and the fancy clothes and stuff, but the people back home and the people that I know can identify with me more so than they can identify with Mike or Magic.
Does it bother you when people say basketball is a black man's sport?
Not at all. A lot of people tell me I'm black on the inside and white on the outside. But
did you ever think if you could only jump?
Well, I think about it every once in a while, but I used to be able to jump a little bit, but you know, a lot of injuries is taking a lot out of my legs, and every once in a while I like to be able to fly through there like Magic does, but Magic can't jump either, so.
Now there's a steal by Bird. Underneath the DJ, lays it in.
You ever thought what you would like when you have to take that green jersey off in the final time?
Well, it's going to be tough, but you know, it's something you have to deal with. It's going to happen to everybody. I'm just very fortunate to play for an organization that won a lot of championships, and when you put the jersey on, it means something.
Dan asked Larry about the pain in his back, about the possibility of back surgery during the offseason, about spending time in traction. Larry does just not want to talk about it.
No, it's just Larry. He doesn't want to give away anything. He says he wants to go for every advantage he can get. He figures if he gives away the fact that he's hurting in some particular area of the body, he's giving something away.
Talking about money, Bob Wolf tells the story. His agent, when he brought Larry and his older brother in to talk business with him as Larry was coming into the pros, put him up in a hotel for a couple of days in Boston. Then the bill came to Bob's office. He expected all sorts, room service, charges, this and that, phone calls. He still to this day keeps that bill, not a charge on it, scrupulous. They were on somebody else's tab, so they didn't charge anything.
Just plain old Larry.
Yeah.
Millions of dollars later, plain old Larry. We'll be right back with more on SportsCenter as we go to break.
Wise words from Bird. Wise words from Bird. Great interview. But yeah, I am like Larry Bird, and I've always been like Larry Bird in the sense not giving two shits what people think about you or about people liking you. I don't need anybody's satisfaction. I mean, I don't need anybody's approval for what I want to do or who I am. You don't have to be happy with me. You don't have to like me. That's yours. There are millions of people in this world. Not everybody's going to like you, and I'm not one of those people that constantly fish for people's approval and their love. Like I don't care. You don't have to like me, and that's just the way it is. You will go crazy trying to appease everybody in any kind of way, and I don't think that's a good way to live life. Just do you. You're not hurting anybody. You're not harming anybody. Live your life how you want to live it. Yeah, we all make mistakes. We learn from them. We grow. It's part of growth. But live your life how you want to. Make the decisions you want to. You have to live for yourself before you live for anybody else. That's what I believe. You gotta love yourself first, man. You got, depending on what you believe in, you got one life to live on this earth. That's what I believe. On this earth, I got one life to live. I'm going to do whatever the hell I want to do. You ain't got to like it. You ain't got to love it. That's why you got your own life. That is why you are in your body and you can do what you want to do. I do what I want to do and let the chips lie where they may. Also about the giving money thing, I share the same thing about that too. It's like, okay, if I help you out, what's going to change? Why are you in a situation? Why have you put yourself in a situation? Are you going to make behavioral adjustments so that you don't go through this again? Because look, I got my own problems. I ain't got all this money. Like, I'm struggling just like everybody else. So I'm really in no position to give free handouts to anybody or help people out, even though I want to, but I'm in no position to do that myself because I might be hurting too. Like I got my own stuff I'm struggling with. So if I can, I'm willing to help people. If I have the money, I will do it. But I won't do it, even if I have it. I won't do it if I feel like you're not doing what you have to do to, rectify the situation and make sure that you don't fall into the same pothole again. But if you keep making the same decisions over and over again, bro, don't come to me for nothing. I don't give a damn. Money, a place to stay, whatever the situation is. You're knocking on the wrong door, boy, because it won't be me. It won't be me. I'm not here to raise people, babysit people that just constantly failing to realize where they're going wrong and acknowledging their mistakes. Like, some people really struggle to look in the mirror and be honest with themselves. And people that don't want to take accountability for anything. And I can't rocks with you. I can't. You gotta be honest with yourself. And especially if you somebody with a lot of money, like a basketball player, y'all know how it is. People that you ain't even know is family. You ain't even know it's family. All of a sudden coming out of the woodworks, hands out. And it don't stop. Even if you be like, okay, I'll just give them some money and then they'll leave me alone. It's never enough. It's never enough. Once you open that faucet, they just going to open that faucet more. Widen the buffer. Let all the information, let all the water come through. All the money come through. And then also like what Bird had to say about how he thinks a lot of people might identify with him more because he lives a more down-to-earth lifestyle, especially appearance-wise. So people might see him as like, hey, Bird's just like me. It's not in a Lamborghini. It's like you said, it's nice. I wish I could have these things. If I have money, I might have these things. But realistically, I'll probably never see such large amounts of money. But I see this guy in his little knitted sweater that his grandma made him or his mom made him, whatever the case may be, riding a old Oldsmobile type of joint. Yeah, not really flashy, chains, rings, fancy coats, designer brands, none of that stuff. And then Larry's also very just down to earth. Like, you wouldn't know that he was a millionaire, megastar, superstar, NBA player, whatever, just by interacting with him. While other players would give off that appearance that's like, oh, you should be surprised if you didn't know who this person was. It's like, this guy looks like somebody with money. He must be a superstar. You look at Bird, you wouldn't think that. Kawhi Leonard's like that. I hear he drives an old pickup truck. Probably got to crank that thing up to get it started. But yeah, no. Wise words from Bird. Wise words, no question about it. I could watch Larry Bird interviews, Michael Jordan interviews, Kobe interviews all day. I love them. Anyway, let me know what you think about it. Have you seen this before? Shout out to the Bird gang. Thank you for stopping in. Check out our Larry Bird playlist. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified. And I'll catch you on the next one. We out, baby.